Welcome back to our channel. Today I get to do the intro and Aaron just gets to sit back and look pretty.
I guess so.
So I got inspired because it's a 3-day weekend and I was like, we were talking about how sometimes you feel FOMO, sometimes you feel about like doing enough with the weekend or with time off.
Honestly, we've been thinking about it and kind of bouncing it off our heads. Why do we feel the need to have to fill our days off with something productive outside of our house?
Yeah.
We feel like we could just do whatever in the house.
As far as like go watch a movie and like there's movies at home.
Yeah.
Go out to dinner, there's food at home. Like, are we in that boring stage?
So what we kind of did was we kind of got some stuff together to film. Originally we were going to film like this offer up, something like showing you how to do offer up and sell things, but it just wasn't working. So instead we're just going to talk about like why we're cleaning out the house of certain things we don't need.
My reason's different than yours, I think.
For me, it's clutter. Clutters my mind.
Clutter clutters my mind?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes me think that I have too much around me. It drives me so crazy that
you're blowing my mind right now.
I can't think to clean it up because it's like a mental block where it's so frustrating that
what do you mean?
So like you get mad because I do leave messes, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I look at the mess and get anxious about the mess and then get so anxious I don't know how to clean it properly.
Okay.
It's not that I don't want to clean it. It's that it's like a trigger that mentally I just couldn't do it at the time, and I'm like, I'll do it in a little bit. I just can't do it this second. I have to process it. And then I end up sometimes forgetting about it, and then you get mad, which is understandable because I left a mess.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of me and just having my mental illnesses that I have and trying to make it, spin it into a positive thing. Like, okay, today, like I said, we got some stuff ready. We're planning on posting it to offer up so we could sell it. Mm-hmm. But like, for me, I kind of needed the support and help to really put my best foot forward to get that done.
Yeah.
So, for me, like, let me see here. I got some stuff over here. Or I moved it somewhere, actually. Oh, anyways, I had an iPad. I had like a phone. I have comics. I have arcade machines.
I got a couple of pugs for sale. Just kidding.
No, definitely not the pugs.
Just kidding.
But like we got.
She was a Craigslist find.
I don't know how proud I would be of a Craigslist puppy, but.
What the heck?
No, I'm saying like the process behind it, not the puppy itself, but just like the fact of buying a puppy on Craigslist is kind of like. Sketch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think cleaning out the house, really decluttering the mind really helps, or decluttering the house really helps declutter the mind.
And for me, for example, in December, I got the Battery Daddy. Do you remember when I got that?
Yeah.
And I was so happy when I got it because I had batteries in the same drawer, but they were just like in little random containers.
They were all over the place. Not like messy, but they were like.
Not like well organized.
Yeah.
And so I got that Battery Daddy thing and there's a spot for every battery. And it made me feel like so relieved and like, oh my gosh, now everything is in one place. It's so nice. And so some of these like home decor things that I need to get rid of, they were just taking up space in drawers and in the laundry room. And then it's like, there's not even room for things that I want to store because there's just random things that I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. We're trying to make room.
We're trying to make room for what we actually want and what we actually enjoy and will use or like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And appreciate. Instead of it just being like.
Instead of it just being there and being like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So the things that I'm selling are things that when I moved into my house, I needed like furniture and decor.
Okay.
So I got things and I like still feel like, okay, that's acceptable, but it's not anything that I'm like, wow, I really like that. And so
Yeah.
I want to have a house where I don't have things, but I have things that I love.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a minimalist or anything like that.
It's not
but
about
it's
being a minimalist. It's what I say is a realist. Being real with what you want and what you need,
so that you can appreciate.
so that you can appreciate more.
Because my house is my favorite place to be ever.
Like for me, most of my hobbies have begun to get sold. I've been putting money mostly into building and playing computers. Pretty much all my time that's spent besides filming or hanging out like with you or something, it's been on the computer.
But do you feel like, I don't know.
So putting money.
Do you feel like your hobbies of like, you sold your Switch. It was a hobby and like you did play Switch, but you hadn't played on your Switch in a long time.
Yeah, I didn't
So
play
it's-
regularly.
Yeah.
And I use this camera now regularly.
She's squeaking
So,
away.
yeah. So I ended up selling or trading the Switch to get the camera.
Yeah.
I use the camera now like way more than I use the Switch. Like I'm using this camera, every other day? Like
And-
even if it's just filming a little bit or messing around with it or trying things out, I'm using this camera constantly.
Like, this is kind of reminds me of this, is that
I
on
got the hiccups.
Book Talk, there's like people who are like pushing and pushing certain genres of books and stuff.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, oh, I want to check that out. I want to read that. It might be what I'm into. But part of me is like, I know what kind of books I like.
Here's the thing.
And other people pushing it on me, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with what I'm reading.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need their influence telling me to read a Colleen Hoover book.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Here's another thing. Look, I don't know if you can see it. You should be able to see it. These are like old 90s like Spider-Man
I didn't
comics.
even know they were from the 90s. I thought those were new.
Some of these are new, but these are old.
Okay.
Like these are from the 90s. Anyway, these, I love them. I've been reading them since the 90s. I got them more
This
recently.
is 1992.
Yeah, I got them more recently, but they've been in a box for the past couple years. Don't open it, please.
Oh. Sheesh.
They've been in a box for the. They've been in a box for the last couple years.
Do you know I've never looked at a comic like that before?
I can show you comics, but just not those.
Oh, sheesh.
Those have been sealed. I want to keep them sealed.
Okay, fine.
But anyway, what I'm saying is like I appreciate them, but realistically, what can I do with them? I'm not even reading them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take them out because they're like collector's items. So I'm just probably going to end up selling most of my comics.
And it kind of seems counterintuitive, but in getting rid of stuff, you make room.
For what you want or
Yeah.
what you need.
Yes.
So
And it's like a couple weeks ago, we donated clothes.
yeah.
And it wasn't like a ton of clothes, but we had like a bag's worth, like a
Yeah.
trash bag's worth. And then I was like able to like go through my clothes. And then I'm like, oh, look, there's that shirt that I haven't worn in forever.
Yeah.
Just because so much of the other stuff was just clutter.
And it was gone by then. So
Yeah, and so like making room for stuff makes room for you to actually value what you have.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, I have 10 sweaters. Now I have like a couple less.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, actually, I do want to wear that one.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we needed to touch on today?
No, let's
Um,
put these things on OfferUp and then try to get back to the video. Maybe we'll go sit over there and talk about.
Yeah. For
fields.
now, we'll pause. We're gonna post this stuff,
Wait, let's
Then we'll-
pause. Get it?
and then we'll get over there, finish off the podcast in our normal spot,
Yeah, and see how we're
and
feeling.
and see how we're feeling
checking out.
about what we posted and
How much money?
how much money we have potentially to make,
Yeah.
and how much actual stuff we can declutter the house with.
And our own mindset too.
And our own mindset. So we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Like what?
Hey guys, we are back. We posted everything on OfferUp that we wanted to post.
I feel like we should have that SpongeBob 5 hours later. It wasn't actually that much longer.
It wasn't.
Uh,
Honestly, it took what? How long did it take you?
it did not take me very long. It took me like 10 minutes tops. Again, it's one of those things, I think this was like our first video topic, sunshine and lemons or whatever, where we're talking about like the replacing of soap or like putting off tasks that you think are going to take a long time. Gathering the stuff and posting took us in total like less than 20 minutes to like decide, post, and
It took me, I mean, because I had to go gather stuff and do like different photos and set things up different places.
yeah.
It took me probably about a half hour.
But like obviously we didn't make many money or anything immediately. But again, this is like
It's like playing the long game and
just like cleaning up.
yeah, cleaning up, getting things out there that we like, trying to just clear the space
Yeah.
in the time that it takes to do it. Obviously we paid money for certain things, so we're not just trying to like give it away,
Yeah.
but we're also not trying to like get as much. You know, we're doing fair deals, I feel. So I think just being fair and playing the game of you're not gonna sell it quick unless you sell it really cheap.
Yeah.
So it's like just hold it till you get what you want or close to what you want at least.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we're going to be getting rid of some things that I just, like I said, they're in the laundry room
Yeah.
and like the cabinets that I just don't need or use.
Yeah.
And so I just need to get rid of them so that somebody else can enjoy them. And I can have more room for activities. and
Honestly,
whatever.
I'd be happy to have more shelf space for other things. Like, I posted all kinds of stuff. Like, I posted the old camera I got that I thought I was going to film the vlog with, but it didn't end up working out because it doesn't even have a mic spot. Like, it doesn't have a mic port, so they're like, I couldn't do what I wanted to do with it anyway.
What's a mic port?
Like where you plug in for the microphone, so this goes to that little box, and then it plugs into the camera.
Excuse me.
So, yeah, it just didn't, I thought it was going to be what I wanted, and this is what I needed for the vlog, and I just ended up getting it later. So that's kind of why I had kind of lost interest in the vlog, was I kind of bought this, thought it was going to be one thing, and then I was like, it's not.
The other day, I haven't read it, so I don't really know anything about it. But I saw like the headline and like a little clip of it. There's this thing called like Swedish death cleaning. And it's this idea that in Sweden, people clean before
I remember you
or
telling me.
with the thought in mind that their family member is going to have to go through their house at some point, and they're not going to feel the same way that you do about your items. And it's just going to be stuff to them. And so it's not that I don't want to be a minimalist in any way.
Yeah.
But I also realize how much stuff we bring in that is just like stuff. And the dollar spot in Target gets me all the time. And some of it, is cute, and I've reused a lot of it. But at the end of the day, it's just like little bits and baubles and tchotchkes that are just like things.
Yeah. Honestly, like, that's what I've been focusing on lately, is just, like, I have all this, like, I have comics, I have video games, I like my collectibles, I like certain ones, like, obviously I have, Kuchikopi.
Does that light up?
If I put batteries in it, yeah.
Does it have a timer?
I don't think it has a timer, I think it just turns on and off.
Anyways, I was just
But,
thinking about it.
like, there's certain things I have, like, I didn't need the camera, I got some games over here, like, I got the comics, there's just certain things I can live without that I wanted to collect, because I had a collector's mind for a while where I was
What
just
does it
like,
mean when you say collector's mind?
like collecting to collect, like, oh, this is gonna be worth money.
But did you feel like it was like things that you were
was
actually
stuff
invested in?
it was
Or
stuff
it
I
just
liked.
Like you thought that it was going to be something?
It was stuff I liked that it was like, well, one day these are worth money. But at the same time, it's like, is it worth holding on? Like, I could die tomorrow for all we know. Like, nobody's guaranteed tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, like, is it going to be more of a pain for the people around me to have to go through everything that I've collected.
Yeah. It's
So that's why, like, that goes back to kind of what you mentioned with
I mean, it's kind of like a depressing thought, but it's also a freeing thought. It's like, it's just stuff.
well, it's also a reality. Like, I mean, we've had family members pass away in the last few years, and it's like,
At the end of the day, it's just stuff.
what do we do with their stuff? Like, I took some stuff from people that have passed away in my life, but like,
Yeah, me too. It's back here.
most of the stuff, like,
My grandma's little cupid doll.
it's almost like painful to keep around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think cleaning is a good idea. I mean, yeah, I'm sure if something happened to me, like my kids would like having stuff, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, where would they put all my stuff?
Yeah. And they're not going to feel, no one is going to feel as attached to something as you feel.
Yeah,
Personally.
I mean, nobody is going to feel the same feeling you had about,
Or like
like
the story
for
behind
example, this video game. Grew up on it. It's called The Lost Vikings, on the Super Nintendo. I grew up on
me
it,
see this.
right?
I've never even heard of this.
I grew up playing it. We play. I think we even beat it. Like we played that a lot. But I haven't had a Super Nintendo in I don't know how long. Honestly, my kid's almost never gonna play that. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
He's into like the new games like Fortnite and different things like that. So it's really like that's just gonna be something that's gonna just get tossed or like
And nobody knows the story
sold
behind
quickly.
Like, why
Nobody
it
knows. Yeah, nobody knows why.
It's not like
I don't
nostalgic.
go. I don't go around saying, "Oh, I played this so much when I was young."
Yeah.
This was like, I put hours upon hours into it, and it was so amazing. You can take this guy. You know, it's just stuff at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's just stuff. I think that's a good title for the video.
It's just stuff.
Yeah. And we were going to go, or I was thinking about like going into how going through bad times, it's so hard, right? But I got to a point with like a stressful situation where I was like, is it going to matter in 5 years?
Yeah.
And my thought was, yeah, it still is going to kind of matter in 5 years. But also, in the like even grander scheme of things, it's just going to be something that was painful
Well,
or like stressful, but it's going to be okay. And so, in like, I'm thinking about like, how do you let go of that
okay.
when it is just stuff? You know, like, what do you do with that?
I don't know. Just let it go.
It's easier said than done, though.
It is easier said than done. Like I have tons of stuff in the garage that I need to go through.
No,
but-
I mean mentally.
Oh, mentally. Oh, we're back on the
Yes. Didn't you not hear
mental.
what I
Sorry.
just said?
I guess I missed that part. Sorry.
No, I mean like the mental stress.
The
of
mental
things,
stress of keeping things?
of keeping things in your head. You're missing that part.
We're back to, okay. I got confused the first time we shot
No,
this, and
I'm
she
getting.
talked about this.
Okay, I'm talking about this.
So the mental stress of hanging on things in your head you don't need to.
Yes. Like how do we like compartmentalize? How do we get rid of? How do we move past?
So the
things?
thing is, like, the mind, like, never forgets.
Yeah.
Like that's
elephants.
just something, like, deep in there, it's stuck.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is you have to go through therapies or therapeutic things
Yeah.
to override your brain to either ignore them or be able to move past them.
Yeah.
It's not something you're just gonna like wake up one day and it's gonna be gone.
I was kind of thinking about it as like, I saw this, I don't even know where I heard this or saw it, but like you can tell your brain to work on problems while you're asleep. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So basically your brain is like a computer,
Okay.
and when you go to sleep, think about it as like your computer's restarting, rebooting.
Okay.
And sometimes when your computer goes to sleep, it's updating while it's asleep.
Okay.
So you're supposed, like one idea is that before you go to sleep, you tell yourself, I want to feel better about my stress in my life.
Okay.
You tell yourself something like that. Like you literally say it.
Yeah.
And then as you're asleep, your brain is like restarting
And it thinks about
and
that.
it's thinking about in that in the background. And then it'll like help you to like alleviate or
It's like
moving the
I I don't know how much it works
what?
because there's like those. Yeah, they
It's too
did it-
hokey for you?
No, they did it in an episode of Friends, and they've done it
What?
like in other shows, and they've done it on
Done
certain
what?
things where they take a tape, put it in a tape player,
Oh,
and play it while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it works. Like they tried it with like quitting smoking on
Yeah.
Friends, right? But it's just like I don't know how much it actually works. Like I'm sure subconsciously you're thinking about it, but you also have to have the willpower to change.
Yeah.
So focusing on
And it's
yourself
also
while you're awake, I think is more important.
like changing habits of the mind.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I'm just not going to think about it. It's things that you've been programmed to do or say
Yeah.
is the problem or needs to change in
Yeah.
some cases.
Reprogramming the mind. Well, like I said, therapy is basically
Yeah.
a reprogramming of the mind. So
So basically, any therapy is what we're saying.
everybody could use it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't need therapy, maybe you're a narcissist.
Yeah. Or you just,
Which you really do need therapy. You
then,
just
like,
don't think you do.
you can't see your own.
You don't see your own faults.
Yeah.
So,
Good point.
anyways, like this is a good little chat.
Yeah.
Good little video.
And
Went in depth on some things we don't normally talk about.
I'm excited to see my offer up, like alerts
I'm
come up and
I'm
see if-
excited to see the offer up going off,
Yeah. Hopefully.
but also to see how people react to this video.
Why? Which part?
Just us talking about clearing the mind and clearing the house and doing both together.
Yeah.
Because you really have to focus on your mind and your surroundings at the same time.
They,
It's a collective thing.
I mean, it really does, like, hand in hand, go together.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like, I feel better. You always tell me stuff. Well, why do you care so much about trying to clean up? It affects my mood if things are, like,
Okay.
completely chaotic.
That makes sense.
But it's the same, like, it's kind of like the same in the mind. When you're all stressed out, it feels chaotic and messy in your head.
Yeah, that's true. That's how I felt the other day. I don't want to go into it, but I had some extra stresses come up.
So that's another episode.
Yeah, that's another episode. I had some extra stresses come up, and it really messed me up. For the
I know.
day.
It caused this, like, blue hair streak to just pop up out of his head.
Yeah,
just
it
woke
caused
up.
me to go into Sonic mode. All of a sudden, I'm Bart Sonic now.
Okay, so
Anyways, we hope you liked the video.
yeah, this is an
It was
interesting
different.
chat.
It was a little.
Morose,
I was gonna say something like that. So yeah.
melancholy,
Yeah.
but I think we're going in the right direction.
I
But
feel.
the right direction can be challenging.
I feel we can take this podcast different ways, and I feel it's good to step out of our comfort zones and open up and be real with people because, in the end, I think people want realness in this podcast.
Yeah. Well, but then again, like I keep reminding you, it's not about other people. It's about us trying to use this as like a chance to.
It is about us, but at the same time, like I said in the last video, I do it for fun,
But you want to bring positivity.
but I want to bring positivity and help to other people.
Yeah.
My main focus is like this video wasn't like super positive, but I feel like it was like something that people need to hear.
Yeah. And things
So,
we need to do.
Anyway,
Yeah. So see you guys.
all right, see you guys on
Popcorn,
the next video.
Popcorn actually behaved this video. She's been asleep right here the whole time. Did you know that?
Yep,
Did you?
yep.